Stevie's Handmade. I am Stevie, and this is a podcast all about creating your own handmade wardrobe, whether that is knitting or sewing. Today we are on a knitting podcast, so today is a knitting podcast, so it's lovely to see everybody and catch up. It's been a bit crazy around here. We have had COVID ravaged through our friends and family, unfortunately. But it's just been a rubbish few weeks, and I just haven't had a chance to get on really and say hi. Don't forget you can find me on Instagram at Beebee Handmade. You can also find my hand-dyed yarn at Curated Yarn Co. So, lots has happened. I'll do a bit of chatter at the end if you want to know kind of all the ins and outs of the drama. But we have a few finished objects, I have a little bit of stash enhancement, and I have a lot of curated news. So settle in, get yourself a cup of tea. In fact, I need to reach for mine. Right, tea. I have a biscuit brew for anyone who's interested. So, let's get started. So we have 3 finished objects. One I finished yesterday, so I can't really count it, and one, it depends on how pure you are about thinking about things being finished. So, the first one is a headband. It's not 100% finished, I've got to be honest, I haven't woven the ends in. And it is this. It's not been blocked yet, but this is the Autumn Mountains hat by my lovely friend Molly of Molly Klein Design, who is pregnant again, yay! And so she was pregnant around the same time I was with Theo, and it's lovely, she's pregnant again. So she is, I think, having a sale at the moment on her shop, Molly Klein Design, so check that out. This is her Autumn Mountains hat, which I can't remember, some of them I've bought, and she's been kind enough to gift me a few of her lovely patterns. But this is normally a hat. All I did was the second round of decreases. So I did 2 rows of decreases, and then I did a rib. What I should have done is not done that. I shouldn't have bothered doing any decreasing. But it's absolutely fine. What I've been finding is dropping Theo off at nursery. It's really cold in the mornings, but I have my hair up, and I normally have, like, you know, messy top knot type thing going on, and I just needed something around my ears, so I thought this would be perfect. This is just some scrap yarn that I've had forever, and it just keeps getting in my way. And so I thought, well, I'm just going to use it for something, and whatever I make is fine, and if I don't have enough, then it's a headband. If I do have enough, it's a hat. So this is it's so deep stash. This is Debbie Bliss Andes, and it is a silk blend with something. I'll see if I can put it on the screen if I can find it. It's so discontinued, it's ridiculous. But it has this gorgeous pattern, and I am going to knit the hat, I think, because I really enjoyed the pattern, and I basically knit most of the hat. But it's really fun. It's just like a little headband to keep my ears warm. It does kind of sit a little bit funny at the top, but once I've got it on my actual head, you can't see it. It's absolutely fine. So it was just a case of using up some yarn that I had floating around. As you can see, I haven't woven in any ends, but that'll take me 5 minutes. So yeah, it was a quick stash buster, and you can do that with most hats actually. Is just make them into a headband, whatever width you like, and then I would recommend not doing the decreasing and just doing a rib. It's nice and easy. The second almost FO, I feel a bit cheeky saying they are an FO because they aren't really, is my Lay Family Yarns Bruised Peach self-striping socks. So again, no ends are woven in, and they don't have a heel. I am going to cut in a heel, and I'm going to stop being a baby about it, and I'm going to do it today. So this is Lay Family Yarn Lay Family Yarn self-striping, which I haven't seen them do for a little while, but they are so busy, Kelly and Nick, so I'm not surprised that they don't currently have much time for self-striping. But this is their Bruised Peach colourway in a self-striping, and the toe is a West Yorkshire Spinners, but it's very similar to the purple in the actual stripe, and I think it's Pennyroyal, I think is the colourway, and I will knit the heel in the same as the toes. So yeah, they are designed to be shorty, which is why I've only got a tiny little bit of rib. I have really long feet, I have size 7 feet, so yeah, and here's the second one. Again, doesn't have a heel, but it will have soon. And this striping is gorgeous. It's so lovely. I love the speckle. It's the first self-striping I've used where I've had a speckle in the stripe repeat, and I really like it. I think it's really adds a bit more softness to the stripe repeat, and it kind of reminds me of like sunsets. Yeah, love it. So that's those. Third and final finished. That's hard to say. Third and final finished object is my minted hat, and you haven't seen this before because I've only knit it over the last 2 days, but I was desperate to try out one of our bases that nobody has purchased yet, and I think partly because it's quite new and unusual, and I think people don't necessarily know what to do with it, and it is our Chainette DK, and it is absolutely stunning. So this is a new colourway. This is called Sophisticate. So this is Sophisticate, and I have one skein. Here it is. So here it is skeined up. I have one of these in the shop. So I have made my hat out of 50, I think it's 47 grams I've used for my hat, so there's 53 grams left after knitting my hat. So you could easily do a couple of hats out of one of these. I think it's 225 metres, it's a normal DK kind of yardage, but it is alpaca. The polyamide is the chainette part of it, so as you can see, it is chainette, and then it's kind of like a blown construction. So I don't know whether it's going to focus on me or the chainette. It's not ideal, but yes, so the chainette, if I can keep it still, it's a chainette construction with kind of like a blown yarn through the middle. And oh, it's so gorgeous because of the alpaca, it's so soft, and then the chainette as well gives it kind of like a lovely marl effect. It's so beautiful, and I was like, I have to knit a hat out of it, but I don't know what to do. So I settled on the Minted hat by Andrea Mowry, which is a DK weight hat. I think it's meant to be a fingering and mohair, but she gives you the option for DK too. So I finished it yesterday and I love it. I felt like the cables really helped with the squoosh factor. The pom-pom I think is a Cowl and Country Crafts from a long time ago, but I thought, oh, they just go so nicely. So it is, there we go, that gives you a bit of an idea. Can you see it's kind of like a marl effect? It takes the dye in a really interesting way. It absorbs in some places and not in others. So it's deeper in some spots and softer in others. But oh, it is so soft and squishy. The cable is lovely. I'm not a big cable fan. If I see more than 2 types of cables in a pattern, I'm like, no, not for me, because I really struggle to read cables as a pattern, even in a chart. Even in a chart, it's hard for me. But this cable, if you're a beginner, you could do it. It's just, you know, slip through cable. Either way, it's so easy. It's lovely, and totally kind of, this felt like mindless knitting to me, and I will knit another one, I think. So I don't know whether I'm going to put on. So this hasn't been blocked yet. I literally just finished it. I did bother to weave the ends in on this one. I don't know whether this might end up being a sample knit. just to help people with the chainette, because it is it's not a base I've seen anyone else carrying recently, but I love it. I really want a sweater in it. I think it'd just be the squishiest, coziest sweater. So this is the Chainette DK. I have added it to Ravelry as well if you want to have a little look. So I've added images of the hat, the ball, and what it looks like in a skein. I also have it on chainmail as well in the shop. So if you are not a fan of the purple, that grey is gorgeous too. And again, it comes out with this kind of mild effect. It reminds me of Woolfolk Luft, I think is the right one. It's got that kind of construction to it. It's really fun. I'm really excited. Just a tangent, it's snowing. We live in the very tip of the south of England, so we live sort of near Brighton, and we have had no snow this season at all, and it keeps telling us it's going to, and then it doesn't. But today it is snowing and it's lovely. It's so nice to see it. It's just so calming to watch. So I've got my window not wide open as in open, but I've got my blinds right the way up so that I can look out at the snow. It's not settling at the moment, but we are meant to have it overnight as well, which is very exciting. Lots of the country has had absolutely loads of snow, including my parents. And they live in the southwest, but not as far south as we are. So yes, there's snow and I'm very excited about it. To whips. I have a new cast on for you. I'm hoping I'm going to do a few new cast ons over the next few days as well, so I will show you what my ideas and plans are for those. Let's go for something we've seen before. Ooh, breaking things. So I have picked this back up. This is my Superstitious sweater, formerly known as the Hocus Pocus sweater. I assume that's a copyright reason why Michael Shaun decided to change the name. It is unbelievably a free pattern on Ravelry, and I cannot believe that he decided to make it a free pattern. It is so detailed, and there's several types of charts. You can really make it your own. And I was a test knitter. Obviously, I'm a rubbish test knitter because I'm still not finished. And this was around October, so I am a touch concerned about the colour work being too tight, but I'm hoping with blocking it will soften up. It's only just between the heads that I'm a little bit not sure. Superstitious pullover. It's that way round, Stevie. So I chose the Winnie chart, the Winifred Sanderson chart. And I chose the Amok chart. I'm not sure whether that's going to show up the right way round. I will have to check when I'm editing. But this is Amok. And then you've got these gorgeous kind of cobwebby things. And then there was other charts. You could continue with the charts, but I just wanted a yoke. So I didn't do any further charts. I've just finished the colour work on the sleeve portions, and I'm now working down this sleeve and enjoying it because it's nice and mindless now. It's just kind of like those nice decreases every few rows. You can kind of see what I mean with the colour work. I did knit it on a bigger size needle and really loosely, so I am hoping when I kind of stretch them they do kind of look okay. So I'm hoping it's not going to be as dramatic as it looks. Yeah, pleased with it. Obviously it's a kind of spooky sweater, so it's more of an autumnal thing, but I think I'll probably wear it anyway, even if I wear it around the house, not in October. So the colourways are my own hand-dyed yarn. So this is Curated Yarn Co. This is the original Dead Man's Toes. This has been updated because I really love this colour, and so you will find a very similar colour in the shop called Ash, which coincidentally is my brother's name, but more so because I was thinking of ashes in a fire. So that's Ash. Then the main colour is Tudor, which is one of my favourite colours that I dye, and actually there's loads of Tudor in the shop at the moment. And then we have, A bare yarn in the middle for the face. This one is a Nora George Rust Bucket, I think, for the greeny bit, and this is my Coral Reef colourway in a random mini that I had that was a bit splodgy, but it's a sparkle mini in DK that I happen to have knocking about. But if you want to see Coral Reef in a skein, this is what Coral Reef looks like. So this is sort of what it looks like knit up, but as you can see there's some stronger bits in this particular skein. That's probably a better representation. So it's a lovely corally skein. I only have it at the moment on, see, I put that as platinum sock, but I think it's BFL. So I think I only have this in the shop at the moment on BFL. But the BFL's been really popular. So if you like BFL yarn, I have sold out of everything I think apart from this in BFL. But if you want me to dye it on 4-ply or DK or whatever, I can do that. So that's that one there. So yeah, that's the colourways, and I'm enjoying it. I'm just doing Sleeve Island now, which is actually making me really happy. I alternated skeins right the way through. I've currently got it on a just a bit of waste yarn. The reason being that I wasn't sure whether I had enough yarn to do the sleeves and how much rib I actually wanted on the sweater, so I put it on waste yarn to try it out, and then I thought I'll knit the sleeves to the length that I want, and then whatever I have left can just go onto the ribbing at the bottom. I have this skein left and a little bit more, so I think I will be absolutely fine. I might even have enough of this for a hat, which I would love. I'm thinking it might be really cool with some mohair. Yeah, so that is Tudor in the skein on DK, and that's on my 75-25 DK. I have to do 3 DK bases. My gorgeous, I should have said what my bags were, shouldn't I? In this gorgeous one, which is from Dandelion and Dogwood, which I got for Christmas, I have a new cast on you haven't seen. Unless you are on Instagram, in which case you have seen it, and if you follow Curated Yarn Co, you definitely will have seen it. So this is my Festive cheer cowl, which my gorgeous friend Hannah very kindly gifted me, and gifted me a copy of the pattern to give away, which I will do the giveaway at the end of the podcast. So it is this gorgeous cowl. Again, I decided that this would be a great way of knitting up some of my test minis that I use for kind of creating my colourways, and also meant that it gives me something to photograph the yarns knit up in. So here it is. There's quite a bit of progress considering I had told you I was going to cast it on last time. So it starts here, and this green is Victory. This will be the same size as this, it's just this is the end that you'll graft together. So here we go, Victory. This is Bronze Age. You can't see a lot of the red in that particular skein, but there's scarlet in Bronze Age. This is going to test me now. Victoriana. Regency, which I've just put a skein of Regency in the shop for the first time on DK. It's one of those, it's really beautiful, but it is a tricksy colourway. So, how have I got it? That's far aside. Here it is. Excuse me. Try not to cause an avalanche. So this is Regency. As you can see on the screen, it reads a red pink, and it does have a lot of pink in it. So if you put those two together, you can kind of see they are the same, but it reads a lot redder in the skein and a lot pinker on the actual knitted item, but I love it. It's such a rich, beautiful colour. And I squealed a little bit when I knit it up, and I liked it so much. So this is Regency. Again, this is Tudor, and Tudor is what I'm knitting this in. So just to give you a idea, so this is in the fingering weight and this is in the DK, which actually They match pretty well. That's pretty good sort of consistency over skeins. So this is a new one. So if you had the Cozy Cabin minis that I sold at Christmas time, this was one of the minis, and I just love this colour so much. I was like, I need to have this on a full skein. So this is Fireside, this one here. Then we have Autumnberry, which is another one which sits in the shop a little bit, but it's so gorgeous, and it's very different pink to Regency. If you put them together, look. So there we go. So Regency on the top, and this is Autumnberry. Autumnberry is a bit flatter with a bit more brown, and a paler pink. Then we have Sophisticate, which is the one that I knit my hat in. So this is Sophisticate and this is Sophisticate. Then we have Ash, which is the new version of Dead Man's Toe. It's a difficult one to get reading. It's really snowing now, so it's not that clear. Here you go, that's better. So it's quite a cool toned greyish purple. And then this is my new age. So I have some colourways that I base on ages. So Iron Age, Bronze Age. This is the newest one, which is Iron Age, which is this steely, bluey, greyish colour with bright orange rusty speckles, which I love. I think that would make a really nice man's hat, or something for a guy, because it's just... I'll show you the speckles that side as well, because they're a bit more even. But yes, I love that colourway, and I have a little bit of it in the shop. I have it on DK. I think I've sold out of it on 4ply, but I will try my best to restock that. So yes, these are all my colourways, and I'm so proud of them. I'm really happy with it so far. I really think I'm going to do the double wrap version of this, which means that you use every colour again. I did sort of debate whether I've got 12 minis in colours that I could knit up, and I probably do, but I feel like I've kind of come to the end of this sort of tonal, other than maybe a very light grey, which I do have chainmail, which could go there, but I don't know how many do we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. So I've got 2 more minis to go before I have to restart. So I may think about maybe a Grandmother Green, I don't know. But I absolutely love this. It's so mindless but so fun. And especially when you're knitting it with minis and you don't know what the minis are going to come out like, it is really, really fun to be able to do. Shared what projects they use their mini skeins for, because that's so helpful. There was some great ideas. The sprocket socks came up loads and loads, which was the one from, I think it's Megan Nodecker, isn't it, from Pip and Pin, her socks. So I'm definitely trying those, and I will probably, I don't know whether I'll use up all of the skeins for these, but I could even manage some scrappy socks out of some of the minis. If you're interested, in the shop I do also have a option for a Lucky Dip mini. So if you don't mind what colourway you have, or you just want to try some yarn, you don't know which colour to choose, yeah, that's an option in the shop, which I'm amazed, but loads of people have gone for and absolutely loved, and it's really fun for me, because I get to kind of like pick through the minis and go, oh, this one would be fantastic, like this, and so, yeah, it's really fun. So you can get that in the shop. So, mostly my yarn, which is nice. I've got to be honest, I haven't worked on Theo's cardigan since before Christmas. Partly because I just ran out of steam, and it was just too much brain ache, and I just needed some kind of zing, something else that was quick to do. I hope everyone's okay. I have a few plans, dreams and schemes in the shop, and ideas. I'm going to rip out my City Limits by Tanis, because I don't like the two bottom colours. There's nothing against the colours, I love them both separately, but I don't love them with the top colours. So hang on, let me grab it, it's easier to sort of show you. I haven't ripped it yet. So I do love it, and I finished it, and I've even done an I-cord bind off. But I am going to rip back. So this is it. So this is the City Limits sweater by Tanis Lavallee, not Tanis Gray. And I love the first three. It's hard, it's quite heavy because it's fingering held double, so it's effectively a worsted weight. So I love it to there, and then I don't love it anymore. So I think I will rip up until, luckily I've kept, thank God, I've kept my my stitch markers in for each colour change. So I am going to rip it back to, I think I'll rip it back to about here. I'm sorry, it's got very sunny all of a sudden. Okay, no. I think I'm going to rip it to about here, which is almost at the armhole, which is depressing. But it's only going to be stockinette. But these last two colours are Boho Bunny by Dandelion Dogwood, and this is Fusion Frenzy by Hey Sister Yonko, who aren't dying anymore. They're just too warm-toned compared to the three at the top. So I'm going to rip it to there, and then I'm going to find, I think, maybe some blues with some pink in, maybe. I don't know whether I'll dye some up or have a look and see if there's anything in my stash that I could use. I have loads and loads of fingering weight. Actually, I wonder if... I have this skein. I don't know if I've shown you this. I have this skein, which is kind of purplish blue, but has a lot of light in it, which is the Dolly Parton Beehive Yarns Club. She had a few left in her shop, and I bought all three at once because I was gutted I missed out on it, and I needed it. But maybe, I don't know if it's too purpley, well, maybe not. It's hard to see because the lights have gone in. Difficult. But yeah, I think I'm going to rip it back, and then I'm going to knit something else on it, because I'm not loving it, and I'm not going to wear it if I don't love it. I have a lot of acquisitions to show you. I have been trying to be good, considering I am dyeing so much yarn, as you can see. Lots of yarn. I have been trying to rein it in a little bit. I do have a fabric haul coming up on the channel. It's probably already up. And I probably could do another one. I might do that after this. So I've been picking up quilting cottons to make bags. Have I made bags? I've made one bag. And I've bought loads of fabric. So I just need to get on that. So I have lots of bag patterns, and I'm interested in just trying it out. I am a dressmaker. I have made a few things, and I will do a dressmaking video really soon. So I haven't bought that much yarn. I'm showing you these just in case I haven't shown you. I don't know which order they went in, but I'm sure most people have opened their Beehive Yarns Dolly Parton by now. So this is Backwards Barbie. Love. I do love me a bright pink, like a toothache pink. And then we have this one, which was the Two Doors Down, which is that nice tonally purpley, bluey deliciousness. And then this one is Heartbreaker. Oh, I really like this. I would never have put those two colours together, but I really like it. So good. So that's those. Then I ordered from Yak. That's what I did. I ordered from Yak because Yak is technically my local yarn store. It's about a 20-minute drive into town, but they had a sale on 20% off, and I should have got some Snefflook. I really wanted some by Camera Rose, but they didn't have the colour that I wanted, so I held off, and now they've had a restock, but it's not 20% off anymore. But I got myself some Sadness Garn, and I've never bought Sadness Garn before. My intention for this yarn was colourwork jumpers for Theo. So yes, I haven't finished his other jumper, but I will, and I have purchased a few patterns for him recently. So I really want to make the Mini Montrealer by, it's Dells, isn't it? Mini Montrealer, which is Designs by Dells, which is Vincent Deland, isn't it, I think. And also the Little Wolf Knits Dino sweater. I had to buy it, so cute. But I think it's the worst weight, so I might have to hack it a little bit to get to where I want to get to with that, because I think this is a DK. So I have two colours that I bought as main colours. So I bought this colour, which is 7741, and this is the Merino Wool. My Norwegian is not good. Are they Norwegian? Yes, they are. My Norwegian is not good. Merino. So yes, this is the kind of like sea colour. I really liked that. And then I bought a royal blue, which is the colour 5846. So I've got enough for sweaters out of these two colourways. And then I thought, well, I'll get some sort of simpler colours. I can mix and match those two, they go together. But I'll get some other kind of creams and things to do the colour work. So I've got 1002, 1015. So 1002 is this creamy white. Then you've got this very stark cool white, 1015. And then I got this kind of mild grey, 1042. So I could potentially use all three of those in a colour work, but I probably will go that and that and that and that. And as I said, I can put those together in a sweater in some combination, or I can put them all together in a combination. I thought the stripes maybe for the Mini Montrealer, you could have different ones. I quite like it where you've got kind of neutral stripes and then one bright stripe that goes through. So I've bought enough of that to make him a couple of little things. So I'm really excited about those. I'm dying to cast on another sweater. My fingers are itching. I really want to. The plans that I had already were the Love Note and the Ranunculus, and I still really want to make those. So I think that's where I'm going next. I really want to make, there's a sweater coming out soon, which is very exciting news, but I can't tell you yet. Yeah, there's some stuff going on for Curated Yarn Co, which I can't tell you, and one of those things I really want to cast on. So I might do that this afternoon, rather than do my Love Note or my Ranunculus. That's it for Podcast Proper. As you can see, there is a lot of yarn in the shop. I might show you a few bits, because there's some new stuff. I might do an Instagram live this afternoon as well, if anyone's interested. Obviously you'll be watching this later, so that might make any sense to you. I have plenty of yarn in the shop, so we are really pleased that we're going to be vending at Yorkshire Yarn Fest online at the end of February, so I will try and get this up before then. The 28th of February, 27th, one or the other, it's on our Instagram. And so there is lots of yarn in the shop, but there will be some more before Yorkshire Yarn Fest, so there will be a big update then. I have DK, I have in terms of DK, I've got 75-25, I've got the Chainette a little bit, and I have our 75-25 DK, and there's a lot of both of those. So all of my DK yarn and my minis live over here, so if you're ever interested in particular colours or want to ask me, this is DK. This one is 4-ply, normally 75/25, fingering weight, and this is normally the darker colours. Then I have the slightly lighter colours and our Surrey alpaca. I have a little bit of Surrey alpaca in ash, and I have it in mauve. We also are selling some bear as well, so if you're interested in lace weight, I have some bear Surrey alpaca in DK. Oh, the DK is just insane. And I also have mohair lace weight, and I have Surrey lace weight. Have I got any Surrey there? That's all no. Okay, so I do have some, but it's not upstairs. So I also have Surrey lace weight if you're interested in those. They've been very popular. I have a tiny bit of BFL left. I have a tiny bit of 100% Merino 4-ply. And I have our Merino 100 base, which I love. So Merino 100 is a DK / worsted. So it is a really chunky 100% merino, and I absolutely love it. This is the mauve colourway, and this is perfect for hats. It would be so snuggly, and I think, I mean, according to my supplier, they label it worsted, but they name it DK. So I take it as it's interchangeable. I haven't actually knit up a sample with this yet, but I will. And I have this on quite a few colourways in the shop at the moment, and I have a little bit more ready to knit up. So if you're interested in kind of an 100% merino base, this is your one. So this is what I call a merino 100 or a 100 DK. It's just so that if you wanted it on the website. It's gorgeous and I love it. And then this is just the lighter colours that we have in. We have some new ones. So we have, my new favourite is Secondhand Rose, which is based on the film Funny Girl, which Barbara Streisand was in. There's a song by Fanny Bryce that's called Secondhand Rose. And it's all about being passed over for other things, and you're always the one that's got second-hand everything. Which I thought was quite a funny concept for a Valentine's sort of yarn. So yes, I have a little bit of this in the shop, but there will be more of it coming. I have some chemise left, not chemise. And I also have new yarns. So we have Chainmail, which is just a lovely tonal soft grey, which goes really nicely with any of these colours. Petit Four, which reminds me of kind of Peggy Portion and all those kind of patisseries and kind of, you know, those pictures you see of Marie Antoinette when she's got cakes all over the place, those kinds of things. We have Awaken, which is a quite loud speckle. So it's subtle in that the speckle kind of goes around, but it's the colours of the speckles are quite loud, so that's fun. And we have, oh, I've got to show you jelly shoes. This, I'm really going to knit a sample of this up because I absolutely love it. This is jelly shoes. So this is a pink and purple speckle, but it just reminds me of those sparkly heeled jelly shoes that you got in the 80s and 90s, and I coveted them with all my heart. We had a neighbour, and we're still friends now, and she had the brightest, most beautiful jelly shoes, and she just looked amazing in them. She was like a little pixie, and I was more of a clumpy child. And so I always thought she looked very glamorous with these high-heeled jelly shoes on, with sparkles, obviously. This does not have sparkle, but you can kind of get the sparkly effect. So all of this yarn at the moment is in the shop, and I will continue to have it in the background of the podcast so that if you see something you like, you can pick. I know a couple of people, I did have my own stash up there, and a couple of people were like, oh, what's that colourway, that thing? And I had to be like, it's not my yarn. It's beautiful, I know, I bought it, but not my yarn. So I have put all the yarn up. Oh, I'm going to show you a couple of mini sets before I go. So we have also got in stock right now the Blue Planet minis. So we did a lovely collaboration with the designer Melina Nicole, and she's done a cowl called the Sea Legs Cowl, and she used my Blue Planet mini set. So she had one that had sparkle lurex in it that I made a long time ago. I have one set left in the sparkle lurex, but I have dyed up a few of them on just a 4-ply, and it goes so nicely with so many other colours. So this, you'll notice, is our Blue Planet colourway, but just slightly different. So it's not blue on each end, it's a more of a poured version. And then we have this one, which is similar to Seascape, but again slightly edgier. Then we have a nice royal blue, and we have the royal blue but overdyed with some black, so it's much deeper. And they are in the shop. I have a few of those left. By a few of them, I mean I've just put them up. And these are the Royal Jewel minis. So these ones are inspired by jewel tones, jewel colours, and I thought, well, what kind of thing, or you know, what do the crown jewels look like? So we've got this lovely soft grey, kind of reminded me of diamonds. We've got this lovely deep tonal blue, not dissimilar to Prussian, and this is obviously sapphires. Then we've got citrine, which is this nice acidy green, and then amethyst, which is this deep purple. It's got quite a pinky base. And then we've got aquamarine, which is just this nice turquoisey colour. And these look really gorgeous with a lot of the darker tones that I have in the shop. So things like Iron Age looks quite well with London Fog. I've also sold out of Carbon, which is a very deep, dark, almost black tonal, which would look really nice with this. And I think I've got photos up on Instagram of it with Carbon. So yeah, that's another lovely mini set that we have in the shop. So thank you so much for tuning in again. It's a bit of a longer one this time, which is nice. I don't know whether I'll be able to edit it down to a kind of reasonable 30 minutes, but we'll see. Thank you for sitting through all of the yarn mail, but I'm really excited about what we've got coming up for Curated Yarn Co. And so life-wise, it has been a bit of a nightmare, but we're all okay, and that's the main thing. So I've got my cup of tea because it's chat time. If you are not interested in the chat, that's absolutely fine. Thank you very much for watching. Now to reveal saga. So we have been taking Theo to nursery. We are allowed to do that under the UK kind of government guidelines. The nurseries are still open. We'd still pay even if he wasn't going to nursery, unless they have to close. We had some friends, and they had a phone call. They were in a different room to Theo. They're slightly younger. So they had a phone call to say that their room was closing because there had been a positive COVID case within the baby room. So they've all had to isolate for 2 weeks. They were identified as contacts for the child, so the child had been in the same time as them. And so that led to some positive COVID tests, unfortunately, for some of our friends and their babies. So they've had a really awful time with it. Some of them, you know, parents caught it and have been really poorly. It's just been awful for them, and my heart really goes out to them because I can't imagine. And so we were concerned, but we continued with taking him to nursery. Then I got a phone call last Tuesday. He wasn't identified as contact, but all the staff have to isolate. So nursery is shut for the next 2 weeks. Not ideal when you run your own business. My husband's working from home and also running a second business. So we were all like, oh no, okay, that's fine. You know, I'd rather they were safe. We don't have to pay for nursery when they're shut. So we got tested. That was a bit of a palaver, but it was all okay. And we've got our results back today, and all three of us are negative, so that's great. The reason we ended up testing was because Theo had a cough, and it's his second COVID test because he had a chest infection earlier, I think it was in December, and he was tested then. And yeah, so that we're all good, and we're just at home, but we don't have to isolate, which is great, but obviously we will probably stay home. And then we got a phone call saying my grandmother, who had been in hospital with a broken leg. Well, that's a long story, I'm not going into it, but she has osteoporosis and she breaks bones quite regularly. If she is to fall, the likelihood is she'll do quite a lot of damage. She fell, she did quite a lot of damage. She had to have pins and rods in her legs. That's sort of a separate thing. She was on the mend. She was due to go home. Positive COVID test. So she is back in the main part of the hospital. There was no COVID in the part of the hospital that she had been moved to, which was on a separate site. So she effectively shut down some of the hospital with a positive COVID test. Obviously, she's very angry. She's 90 years old. She's doing okay. I spoke to her just now. She is okay. She has to have some of the oxygen. She's had her dexamethasone, but they won't give the vaccine to anybody in hospital, which I don't really understand, and I'm sure nurses would be able to explain to me why that is. But she's not eligible until she goes home to have her COVID jab. It's okay, but yeah, it's just been one of those things where you get a phone call, something else happens, you get another phone call, something else happens, and it's just in this week that constant worry of, are we going to have to isolate, are we going to be poorly, are we going to be able to get things organised. We are already in a support bubble with my husband's mum, and he's got a sister who has sort of special needs things as well, so we were trying to protect everybody, and the worry of that we, you know, although we're in a support bubble, it would impact so many people, just made it really hard. So we are all okay, and thankfully we have been lucky this time, and you know, we don't have it, but it's very hard to, even if you're doing the right thing, it's very hard to kind of cope with the randomness of it, I suppose. You could go to the supermarket and pick it up. You're allowed to go to the supermarket, but you know, that's the risk that you take when you go. And so it was a bit of a scary week, but we're all okay, and we're muddling through, and my knitting is helping me, and all your orders are helping me as well. So if you have so far supported Curated Yarn Co, thank you so much, because every time my phone pings with a new order, I get sort of, oh, happy order, yay. We also have some lockdown care packages in the shop too, if you're interested. I think I have 5 left as of now, and they include some little treats for you, some you know, some little pampering things, and you get a skein of yarn, your choice of base, and a 4-ply mini skein, but they're all mystery, so I will just pop in whatever skein and a mini that complements. So if you're interested in that, you can check those out on the website. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch up with you guys really soon. Please look after yourselves, and happy knitting.